Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another recap of Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 6, Episode 11, the mid-season finale, No Turning Back. This episode was a lot. Let's get into it. So it starts off with Danny and Preston again. So Preston then came out the bathroom with her uniform on and his cowboy boots. So he's sitting at the table talking, and next thing you know, he starts staring at the stove, telling it to lock. So then he ends up picking up Danny's phone on the counter, and it will up. Like, he calls, I believe, no, my bad. Danny's on the phone talking to Sabrina, and she tells Sabrina that, you know, she gave Preston some of her weed, and now he's tripping and whatnot. But then at the same time, Sabrina's in her car, calling to tell her that, you know, Maurice done turn himself in, and Danny was like, well, isn't that his fault? And she was like, well, this and that. So basically, they literally called each other to tell each other that they wasn't going to make it to Karen's house to, you know, confront her about what happened the night before. So after they get off the phone with each other, Preston picks up Danny's phone and he ends up calling Zach. So he starts acting weird and whatnot. It's like he's like in and out of it. Like, he's coherent to part of the reality, but he's out of it still tripping. But it's like, it's so funny, but it's not funny. So eventually, Danny snatches the phone from Preston and was like, listen, I need you to come over here and help me because I gave Preston some of my weed and now he's tripping. So after that, Preston's talking about the daggone stove being locked, and he's just like, it's just like, oh my God, what the heck did I really do? So next thing you know, Zach comes over, and he was thinking that they was into some kinky stuff or whatnot, but no, she was just like, listen, I gave him some of my weed, and now he's tripping and paranoid, and then he was like, yeah, remember when it happened to you? Like, you must have been tripping. So Zach was like, I understand how he feel. I understand how he is like that. He was like, so basically, what do you want me to do? Like, I can't really do nothing, but, you know, I'm gonna try. So Zach made Preston go into the bathroom to change his clothes, and next thing you know, Danny was like, I need you to help me. So Zach was like, Preston, he was like, and then Preston was like, Lord, and then it was like so funny. And then you hear Zach says, yes, my son, and he was like, are you dressed? He was like, almost, I think. Next thing you know, he comes out the bathroom with his pants on and his shirt on backwards. It was just like so funny, but it was like, super funny. But so anyway, long story short, basically Zach couldn't do nothing because he had 2 other stops to get to. So Danny was like, okay, you stay here. I'm just going to go get ready for work, because he thinking he works at the at the airport with the cows and stuff like this. It was just so funny. Like, if you were watching the scene, it was the most hilarious scene in the world. Like, I actually love this part right here. It just gives, like, wow, Preston has a funny side, even though he's not, like, coherent, whatever. So Danny ends up giving him a hug, and it's just like, oh my God. Basically, Jesus take the wheel on this one. So she gets ready for work. He's still sitting at the table looking at the stove. And he says a remark that was like, what you really talk about? He called her a B twice. But she was like, I'm gonna give him a pass because, you know, he's not in it. And then he also had told Zach, it was like, what up, my nigga? And he said it twice. And then Zach was like, well, you not supposed to say this again? Next thing he turned around like, I was like, what? This whole scene with Preston and Danny was everything. Like, this is the most fun I've ever seen in an episode. Like, that was amazing. So eventually Zach leaves. Next thing you know, he heads to Karen's salon. Wow. Not Preston. Oh my God. Aaron and Pam was outside with their suits on or whatever. He was looking like two snowmen. And Zach was like, if Karen ever needs more, you know, she can just hit me. So he was like, listen, you don't want, Pam was like, you don't want to help. He was like, nah, you and Baldy, the snowman, got it and everything. So basically, Aaron didn't really have nothing to say. He gave Pam the money and was like, you know, that was it, and he left. Next thing you know, him and Pam are having a little situation, whatever. Aaron wants Pam to take the trash to the dumpster. She was like, nah, I'm good. She basically wants to supervise, so he ends up getting the bag, and she was like, I'll go, but I'll follow. So she has her phone and check in hand, and he walks her to the garbage can because at that same time, Pam really was like, you didn't got nobody here to help, and you even got nobody's phone number. So, you know, Aaron was like, fair enough. So they do what they got to do. Next thing you know, Andy is at the office, and she's dealing with a client, and she goes to hand off the guy to somebody else. Up walks Hayden and Gary. So basically Gary was like, you owe me an apology. She was like, yeah, I know, but right now I gotta get ready for work. It goes into the meeting. After they had a little confrontation when you see Hayden laughing at Gary was like, dang, so you think she your girl? And he was like, no, that's my wife. They supposed to make a little joke about the whole situation because Hayden's keeping tabs on Tamara, but Tamara's not really keeping tabs on him, not giving him no feedback or anything. So it's like he's stressing and losing his mind, and he basically wants Gary to like put his people on her to look up her and see where she's at. After doing so, Zach pulls up, and he basically ignores Hayden, was like, what up, Gary? And they had the little words or whatever. They said, see you later, whatever. So by this time, Sabrina done pulled up to Maurice's place so they can get ready to go down to the jail for Maurice trying to turn himself in. Because Calvin did get home, he decides to change his clothes, and he was like, Maurice was like, thank you for paying the rent. He was like, no problem. He was like, what you really want me to do? So basically, Sabrina and Calvin are supposed to like try to convince Maurice to not turn himself in, but Maurice is still stuck in his ways. He was like, nah, I'm going to go turn myself in because, you know, I'm trying to make right of what happened with the situation, but everybody feels as if it shouldn't be Maurice going down. But at the same time, I kind of feel like it should have been him, but at the same time, I felt sorry for him because it's like he's trying to right his wrongs and nobody's not giving him a break or a pass. So it's like, yeah, so he ended up drinking the wine eventually, and they all get ready to leave to go down to the precinct. So after this, Andy pulls up to Fatima's office with Zach in hand, and she basically wanted to hide it out there because Hayden and Gary's out there, and she really didn't got nothing to say about him. So they're trying to chit chat, make small talk, and Zach was like, you know what happened yesterday. You was there last night about the whole Karen situation. So while they're all sitting in the office, Karen decides to call Zach's phone because by this time, Karen made it down to her salon, and Pam told her about the money, and she was like, listen, I'm going to call him back. And yeah, so she ends up ripping up the check and calls Zach, and Fatima answers it because at first Zach wasn't trying to answer it. And she picks up, she was like, hello? And she was like, oh, it's you. So long story short, Karen was like, I'm gonna shoot you. The next time I see you, what you did coming to my house like that was uncalled for. And Fatima was like, pull up to the office. I'm at work, so do what you want. Like, okay, you about that life? You not about that life? I'm about that life. So it is what it is. So now Karen, she's like, okay, I got you, bet. I'm about to pull up to the office. And that whole situation just went left. And Fatima was like, okay, we just gonna see. Let us see what she can do. Meanwhile, Maurice gets to the precinct. Logan's there, and Sabrina and Calvin is telling him, like, listen, stop trying to talk. Wait till the lawyer gets here. He was like, no, I'm good. Just I'm taking to the jail. At first, Maurice was like, no, I'm good. I'm detaining myself. So he ended up holding Logan's hand by the pinky and walks over to the holding area. And Logan was like, get your butt in there. And now, basically, Sabrina and Calvin are just waiting for Michael to get down there. Let's see. Moving right along. Oh, Zach, he met with the, I guess the lawyer that's supposed to be looking into his case about the paternity custody for Michael. After their whole interaction, that guy, I think his name was, we're going to say Michelson. We're going to just say it like that. He was like standoffish to Zach. Like he felt as if he was trying to get the one up on him. Because like when Zach walked in, him and Fatima was like giddy. And he was like, why you so giddy up in here? So basically, the guy really didn't want to like hear what Zach had to say, but it's like, we gonna see. Because now Zach really wants to get full custody because they saw how he was living and whatnot. So they really want to see if that nosy lady will testify about what really happened and stuff like that. So he was like, we'll see, we'll check into it because I got that person down at child welfare and we can see, what's really going on. So he was like, okay, that's cool. And then he ends up leaving. So, yeah. This episode was crazy and interesting. So, come to find out, Karen really pulled up to the office and she's looking around in the hallway or whatever. She told people hi or whatever. Next you know, Andy sees her and it was like, hey, what are you doing here? She was like, listen, I only came here for a reason. And Andy was like, not necessary. Next you know, you see Fatima pull up. And Karen goes in her purse, checks out her gun, and does, I think, 2 shots. And supposedly Fatima falls down to the ground. And Andy runs up crying like, no, oh my God. And then you can see a look on Karen's face like, not this chick really just did that. Like, you're supposed to be my friend. And it's just like, okay, I see how you roll. So the next episode is probably like in October. So we got like almost a month and a half to wait. But I'm just like, wow. She really stood on her word and showed up. Like, okay, you about that life, I guess. We'll see. I'm with Pam on this. She was like, hold on. Sorry about that. So I'm with Pam on this when after Karen said she was leaving the shop to pull up at the job, the hormones really got to her brain. And at the same time, I missed this part out. Karen ends up calling Andy after she had got off the phone with Fatima and Zach. So basically now, Karen is on some FU type situation between Zach and Fatima. And wow, this is before she gets to the law firm. She calls Andy, and she was like, what's this all about? I'm gonna need you to show them. So after they get off the phone, because it's Fatima's in the hallway, and she was like, I heard Karen say, show them. Fatima pulled up Andy's information because Andy was not trying to do that. Come to find out, Zach is the father of the baby. So now it's like he got 2 kids for real, for real. So we gonna see if Karen really gonna, say F you to both of them and stick out and do what she gotta do for the baby alone. I mean, it kind of makes perfect sense the way, like, she's treating Aaron, like, yeah, I'm good on you. That's just all it was to hit it and quit it. I don't know, like, do y'all feel as if, she's just saying this because, she's in the heat of the moment? Or does she really, like, mean it, what she said about, leaving Zach in the dust and just worrying about her and her baby? Because if that was the case, that would have been your whole, like, attitude to in the beginning. Like, you wouldn't have been going so hard for this guy. Like, you know how many people do that on a daily basis? Trust me. I've seen it. Okay? That's just what it is, okay? I got this in the bag, and then we're just gonna ride it out and see what things happen, see how things go from there. But yeah. So with that being said, I will see y'all back in October when the season comes back on. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this mid-season finale, and yeah. Bye.